that the clothes they wear are one of the greatest sources of plastic in the ocean. Minuscule strands of clothing, normally made of nylon or polyester and much finer than a human hair, are shed from our clothes every time we wear them, wash them, and of course, when we throw them away. The rise of fast fashion means that as a cheap and easy-to-use material, polyester makes up around 60% of the clothing material we wear, with an estimated 67 million tons of synthetic fibers being manufactured in 2015, according to UN figures. A report released in 2017 by the International Union for Conservation of Nature estimated that between 15% and 31% of all plastic pollution comes from microplastics. The authors estimated that an average person living in Europe is responsible for dumping the equivalent of 54 plastic shopping bags in the ocean each year. The figure for North America rises to 150 per person per year. The report goes on to explain that, globally, over a third of this plastic enters the ocean as a result of us washing our clothes. At less than a millimeter long, the microfibers are so small they slip through our washing machine drainage systems. A fleece jacket could be responsible for releasing as many as 250,000 microfibers, according to a study undertaken at the University of California, Santa Barbara. I find it galling that as someone who enjoys spending time outdoors, cycling and kayaking in the elements because I love nature, the equipment I use and the clothing I wear can be some of the most polluting. It is not ridiculous to ask how, if these fibers are so small, they are actually harming the ocean. The answer, as is so often the case with this fast-growing problem, is that we have yet to understand the true impact. What we do know is that although invisible to our naked eye, these synthetic fibers may still look like tasty treats to zooplankton such as krill, tiny shrimp-like crustaceans. Animals like these form the base of the food chain in the ocean, being eaten in vast quantities by bigger zooplankton, fish and marine mammals like whales. In this way, microfibers can pass up the food chain, accumulating in huge quantities the further up you get, and eventually could even end up on our dinner plate. In addition to this, in the same way as larger plastics can block up the stomachs of birds and whales, microfibers can prevent other zooplankton like copepods from being able to digest the algae on which they depend. What to do then? If these synthetic fabrics are so widespread and the pollution they cause largely unseen, a solution can be hard to imagine. Here are a few things that you can do to help stop such large quantities of microfibers entering the ocean. Shopping. Buying fewer clothes. I know the feeling. The weather changes and you want the outfit to match, or a zipper breaks on your jeans, and it's easier to buy a cheap new pair. Clothes can be found so cheaply now that we often forget it is a relatively new phenomenon to be able to head out to the mall and buy them in large quantities on a whim, without necessarily considering the impact on the environment or the people who have made them. Making an effort to reduce the amount of clothes you buy, either by repairing old ones or making do with last year's colour scheme, is a simple, effective way to reduce the amount of microfibers in the environment and save money at the same time. The longer the clothes you already own stay in use, the kinder you are being to the environment. Buying fewer new clothes. New is not always nice for the environment. Next time you're out shopping, try checking out charity shops and vintage stores for second-hand gems. After all, fashion comes in cycles. Also, although they are still synthetic and so would require the washing guidelines soon to follow, you could check out some of the clothes now on the market made using recycled plastic, such as Pharrell Williams' line or any one of hundreds of small startups doing everything from high fashion to gym wear. Buying fewer synthetic clothes